Welcome back to the Matchbox podcast. I am your host, Jay Pons. I just want to say really quickly, we're really appreciative of all the support recently. You guys have been showing a bare love on the Instagram with the likes and the comments, man. Keep it up. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because we've got some sick content on the way for the summer, some new music videos, new forms of content, so stay tuned. But with all that aside, next to me, I have got the wholesome, the humble, the official Risky.
The good guy never they mention, playing the hero like an Avenger. Been on the block and yeah, I remember rolling my own like a no gang member. Wasting time, never not mine. Don't roll out with the shank or nine of a pack of the white.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Listen, I'm enjoying the summer weather, man. It's nice when the sun's out. You feel vibrant, you feel good. Everyone's kind of on a good vibe. Hope you are as well.
Yeah, got a few music videos planned for the summer.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get into that in a little bit. If you could give the audience like a little introduction to you, just a brief one, like who you are and where you're from and what you do.
So basically, like from young, I've had a troubled life. I've come from adversity. I've managed to pick myself up and do much better. And basically, music was my path as an outlet. And at first, that's all it was. It was just an outlet. But I've started to realise that I actually have a talent I can do something with more than just use it as an outlet. And I use my music for a positive influence on the young people to make them realise you can get these big collabs, you can do well, and you don't have to like try fit in with an image, because I follow no trends. Like I don't jump on the wave of drill, for example, just because someone else is doing it. Like you can be yourself, you can do your music and have a positive impact.
I like that. That. So where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Rugby, but I've lived quite a lot of places. I've lived in Leamington, I've lived in Coventry, I've lived in Nuneaton, I've lived in Birmingham, in Handsworth, and in Birmingham, in Hockley as well. And basically, yeah, I've been all over, but I've never really settled, to be fair. I still haven't found where I belong, to be fair, but like I'm just enjoying like the journey of life, trying to find different things, different places, meeting new people. Like I just love doing what I'm doing. Music's a great path for me.
So I think we've definitely got quite a lot to unpack here. I like to start like straight from the beginning. You seem to have obviously gone through many challenges, experiencing poverty, homelessness, and also being like thrown in prison. So
yeah, 100.
Take me from the start, Risky. How did your life like traverse in that direction?
Once the police have their eye on you, they start watching you and they're thinking that you're involved with everything. I was a good lad in a bad area. I just wanted to do well. And I've made stupid mistakes when I was a kid. Of course, everyone has.
We've all been there. Yeah.
The problem I've had is like the image never worn out. Like, so every time that I've tried to do something, people have always thought I've had a negative intention.
Gotcha.
Or they've always been waiting for me to slip up. And that's why I found music really positive, because it's something I can hold on to and not let anyone destroy.
That's really like, I think that's a similar story to a lot of youth in the UK. And would you say it's an influence from the people around you and in the environment you're in that has like kind of put you in that direction when you were younger?
Yeah, definitely. I had a good friend, like it was more of like my older he was. He used to work at a youth centre. His name was Sam Davis. He went by the name of Dizzle, if you want to check his music out.
Never going back, cause I'm on the killing spree. I got a flow that makes my brother say you're killing me. It's been a hard year, I don't want your sympathy. I get the music out to them so they be into me. Dizzle trying to be the best up in this industry. Really couldn't give a F for what you think of me. Yeah, that's a hypocrite. I couldn't give a shit. So you can comment on my life when you're living it.
And yeah, basically ever since then I always wanted to pursue music. And then because of he helped me in a time where I felt like there was no support and things like that. That's why I also went down the youth work path, because of Cecilia Whittlesey was the head of the place. A lovely lady that is, and we had Matthew Baker, who was doing all the sound engineering, and then we had Sam, who was like basically guiding us with how to rap better. It was an amazing
little like community.
It really impacted my life at a time when I needed it. So I wanted to then basically pass it down. That's why I wanted to be what they were to me.
Yeah, to other people. Yeah,
and yeah, that's basically what inspired me to go down pursuing the path of music and also pursuing the path of youth work.
Well, that's something that I want to like touch on as we kind of progress in the show, because when I've met you now and like how you carry yourself, especially over like the DMs and how you talk, you're very polite, you're very I won't say forward thinking, but like you're very considerate, and I like your demeanor. You're very polite to people, and I can tell obviously maybe that's come from a troubled past.
100%. I treat everyone as I'd want to be treated. Like, say, for example, whether you're in a business and you're talking to a cleaner or talking to the boss, everyone's just a person at the end of the day. And tomorrow's basically today's king could be tomorrow's heroin addict.
Exactly. Yeah,
and that's literally how I see life. Like, you never know when you're going to come crashing down. You don't know what's around the corner. So treat everyone as you wish to be treated, because there may be a day when they're looking down on you.
Exactly. Yeah. So tell us about being homeless and like the experiences you went through doing that.
Okay, so when I was homeless, basically, at the time, like, you go through a physical experience and a mental experience. So
Interesting.
when I was street homeless, for example, at the age I was, it's the age where you're finding like what you like doing. You're trying to get opportunities. You're trying to meet girls. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do that. And basically, being 18 and 17, them ages, say the physical impact, hygiene, like, say, for example, when you're sleeping under a bridge, it's not that you're a tramp, it's just you don't have access to have a shower every single day. You can get to where you can get to where you're going when it's available. Gotcha. And things like that. Say, for example, if you were meeting a girl, say, for example, how are you going to say, like, oh, yeah, come back to the bridge? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know I shouldn't laugh, but
no, that's how I am. No, that's how, you get what I'm saying? That's how I am. I like to laugh about these things, because, to be honest, I've come a long way, and now I look back, I find it a madness. But it's things like that. There's the physical impact, things like that. There's, like, you want to get a job opportunity tomorrow, or you want to, say, for example, go to a studio. You're going to turn up in, like, ripped, muddy clothes and sleeping and things. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's going to turn you away, or have that first impression of you, like, oh yeah, he's like not someone serious, he's a bum.
100%. Like, because it's how, basically, before anyone gets to hear what you have to say when you open your mouth, the first impression is visual every time. So when you're street homeless, on a visual, you're not taking anything seriously. Yeah, that's literally how you perceived. And the problem with that is, obviously, it's not necessarily true. It depends who you are, why you're homeless. And basically, overcoming that, I had a great support from a place called Hope 4. I don't know if they're like national. I don't know if they're national, but in Rugby this was, They're a place where you can go in, you can have a shower, you can have a quick meal and whatnot. They just basically look after the homeless, especially younger ones. And honestly, it was really impactful to me. I'm really grateful for them, so I'll always shout them out every time.
And would you say they were like a stepping stone into you coming out of that sort of
100%. Area of Without it, I would have had no hope at the time, because, like, say, for example, little things like, this is how, like, things can spiral out of control. Say you can be homeless, obviously homeless, not working. That means two things, because you can't get benefits as well with no fixed abode. They won't let you. So you can either then become a drug dealer, or you can steal from shops, food and things, like minor petty crimes, to get by and things. And that's why having a place like Hope 4 was essential, because it allowed me the time to be able to be okay without having to break the laws and go down the wrong path until I'm out of the situation. It allowed me to prolong any negativity, just wait patiently, and as soon as I got housed,
to come out,
as soon as I got housed, then I've not done any damaging effects where I'm going to be like, oh shit, like, how am I going to cope with this now? And you get a new opportunity and it's taken away, because then you go in court for this or that. Like,
okay, touching on, like, like trouble with the law. Did you go to prison after you were homeless, or was that before?
Yeah, it was after I was homeless. In fact, it was during while I was homeless, actually. It was just before my homelessness ended. And to be honest, it was really unjust. Like, it was for possession of a bladed article in a public place. But the truth is, someone's basically tried to stab me. It was basically, I understand it was an accident, so I've barged into him by mistake, texting on the phone. I should have been looking where I was going. Yeah, I've said, oh, sorry, mate. Basically, I've apologised. He's took it the wrong way still. He's like basically hyping it up.
He didn't accept the apology?
Nah, he's basically hyping it up, I said something back. He's escalated. He shouted something along the lines of, oh, I've just lost my wife today. So we obviously had things going on and whatnot. And he's just pulled out a pocket knife and went for me. And basically, I've managed to get it off him. I've got out of the situation as quick as possible, because, as I said, I don't like violence. So I don't want to be in trouble. I've got out of the situation. The police have come around the corner, because they happened to be in the area when the reports were going off. They've said, oh, they've stopped me. I've said, yeah, here's a knife. Like, basically, they were trying to get me, sort of thing. I've been done for possession of a blade.
And was that his knife? Like you
unfortunately,
that was like a series of fortunate events.
Because basically, they don't have CCTV of me getting the knife off of him. So they did find 2 sets of prints on it, though. So in my opinion, still to this day, I think that's enough for them to hear my side of the story, but it didn't work out for me.
We're going to broadcast that now, so everyone can hear your side of the story, because that's really unfortunate and unfair and unjust. Yeah. How long were you in prison for?
A very short time, to be fair. I was only in there for 2 months. Like I got sentenced to 4 months and I served 2 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really short sentence.
Was that Winston Green, was it?
No, it was in Glenparva on the year that, basically it was closing down. This is in 2016, I think it was. It was closing down, so I was expecting a YOI. I've went in there and the guy on the wing was so old, the first person I met, I was like, what's going on, Then the next person was 24, the next person was 30 and so on. I was really confused, but they shipped it into a HMP for its last year before closing down, because basically prisons were overpopulated.
Oh, that's bad, overpopulation. And what was your mindset kind of coming out of prison? Like, what?
Do you know what? I don't judge people, like, in general, but, like, so a lot of people there, they are people that want to do better, and like I don't think if you go to prison you're a bad person. However, I did meet some people in there that I'd even go as far to say glamorize it. Like, to them it's cool, they're happy, they're there, like, I'm this, I'm that, like, and I just,
not cool, is it?
Not at all. I like, to any youth listening out there, like, literally road life to no life, literally all you're gonna see is death, jail, and like bad health. That's literally it. And that's why, like, I came out of there, although I didn't have a bad experience in there, like, I don't want to put it out the wrong way, but like I did have a laugh in there, and I just got on with my time. I got out, but like it doesn't mean that it is a laugh. It's just making the best of a bad situation.
Exactly, and I think that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, like it's a bad thing, and basically I got out of there thinking, well, I'm not one of these people that wants to be like, oh yeah, like on my deathbed, oh I was the hardest person in this town, I was this. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot more to live for. You can have a family, you can achieve dreams, like things that people think aren't possible. Like, for example, music. Like, first glance of hearing an artist, most people are just like, oh yeah, they're never going to do anything with it, like, why don't they just get a job and things like this. But like I think it's important to like not follow people's expectations and to live within your own brain. Like, at the end of the day, what I do to make me happy, that ain't going to make you happy. What you do to make you happy won't make your brother happy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all individuals, so we've got to think ourselves and basically lead our own path. And that's basically, I came out of jail thinking I'm going to pursue music now. And that's literally when I started working on it.
That's really inspirational, man, and I think you've really hammered some massive points home there. Like, it's that not living to other people's expectations and pursuing what you want to do, and always having that belief that, like, no, I will reach my destination, and not folding to societal norms about I need to get a job. Oh yeah, he's never gonna do that. Blah blah blah. Now I like it, man, and I think it's really it's like a collection of like your mindset now. Obviously, all these experiences you've gone through. Something I want to know is, like, can you remember like your darkest day? Your like demo, the worst point of your life, and you almost thought like, this is never gonna get better. Like almost like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that.
Truthfully, I'd say for a long period of my life, I'd say truthfully, most of my life until I actually settled down. Like, basically, I think it's so important. Like, I'm not saying that all friendships are bad, but I think it's so important that you do have a good supportive missus, because basically, like, I'm not going to put names out there because I don't like indulging in negative energy. I don't like indulging in negative energy, but pretty much most friends I've had have snaked me heavily for no reason, and from it I've not like been hateful. I've not sat here thinking, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that to them. I've just sat down and think, your value is your value, but it's up to you where you place yourself, and that's how it's going to happen. Like, the thing is, if you put yourself around someone who values people like that, then it's going to go wrong. It's up to you where you choose to lay your value. Like, and basically with a supportive missus, I've been able to just focus constantly, having someone there who wants the best for me with no hidden intention. And basically mentally, that lays off the depression and anxiety a bit, because, like, how it is, like, when you're around groups and stuff, you've always got to be aware. Even if you feel that you're cool with them, you've always got to be aware, because people always have their own like
agendas.
Agendas due to jealousy and things like that.
Definitely.
Like, a lot of people don't want to see you succeed, and that's basically it.
There's a term, I always say this, everyone in the comments are going to flame me. Misery loves company. Misery loves company. So when you have a bunch of people and there's two people, or there's one guy, he's really climbing, he's ascending, everyone else kind of starts feeling a type of way, that green-eyed monster comes out, the envy, and they want to drag 100%. You back down. So because if the people at the moment think, well, if I'm at the bottom, at least I've got these other man with me, so it's less bad. You know what I mean? That's why they want to bring you back down and claw you down.
It's like, for example, like, say, for my health, like, I get affected differently by smoking cannabis, basically. Like, it really affects my neurons differently, because of, obviously, I've got the FND and the fibromyalgia, and I've got a brain injury and autism. So basically, I've had to stop smoking weed because it's caused me physical and mental problems, and basically the amount of friends I have that still will be like, oh no, just come on, just one spliff, or they'll be there trying to like blow smoke near me, and I'm saying, look, if you want to smoke, move away from me, otherwise I won't chill with you, sort of thing. Like, you'd be surprised. People want you in that because then they've got someone to smoke a spliff with. If they're out of bud, they've got someone who can pick up for them, like say if they needed a reload and things like this. So basically, like, people aren't considerate of health and things. They don't want to see you go on the rise. Like me, I'm happy for everyone I'm around. Like, even if you've done more than me to achieve, like, if, I'm just happy for you. And that's a lot of people don't see it that way.
That's extremely rare. Like, and you can meet people like that. Like myself, for example, I'm very similar to that. I've got a lot of friends who are eyes, and I genuinely am happy when I see them, like, you know, they hit a music video and they've done a mad feature with someone. I'm like, that's sick. I'm bare gas for them. And I think, like, people like what you're saying, like right there, like, you know, you're happy to see other people succeed. That's rare, but they are out there. And I think the idea is to surround yourself with like-minded people.
100%. It's hard to find though, because the problem is, like, I find with life is people don't showcase who they really are straight away.
Of course not.
And that's why, like, a lot of the time, this is why I've started reducing on how many people I'll let
into your circle.
Because basically, like, a lot of the time I'll speak highly of people. I'll be there, like, always trying to see the good in people, always trying to, like, basically push them to do better for themselves. And I'm doing all of this, I'm helping them, and basically, like, say 5-6 months down the line, I'll find out that they've been hating on me or saying certain things, and I think, like, come on, like, we should all want each other to rise. It don't matter who gets there. Like, if we all work together, and whoever gets there first, it don't matter, we all get there. And the problem is, in this world, everyone wants to be the top man, but, like, in reality, if everyone shared, no one would be without, whereas if there's one top man, everyone else is left without.
Suffered.
And that's literally how I see things. So I always try and, like, see us all as a collective.
I really admire your mindset, man, and I want to ask you, where did you find the strength and the resilience to really, like, maintain this positive mindset you had? Especially you've been, like, dealt some of the shittest cards, and you've still managed to prevail with this like fantastic mindset and this outlook on the world, and I find it really like admirable.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So, like, how did you keep this like mindset through that negative journey?
Truthfully, if I'm being honest, I've always got the mindset, like, in the back of my head, but actively I've only had it most of the time. Like, there has been times where I've let myself slip, where, like, it's all got a bit too much. I've ended up being, like, for example, arrested under section, is it 139 or something when you go Caledon? Basically, like,
not quite sure.
I've had a few breakdowns, basically, where in depression and things. So, like, this is what I'm saying to people, like, not everyone's perfect. Like, you're gonna have these problems in life. It's more about how you overcome them. And the thing is, like, no one can change it for you. No one can make you feel a certain way. Like, basically, the world's out of our control. It's how we respond to it.
I like that.
It's a choice.
Yeah. That's the only thing you can control, your reaction and your response to the situation.
As I've gotten older, basically, like, I've started learning that, and I've chose the outcome instead of, like, what's going on, because I know I can't say, for example, like, I don't know. You could choose to do something wrong now, and basically, if you do that, I can just choose to, for example, say if you stole something, for example, I can get up and leave and just think, do you know what, it's not worth the jail time, or I can retaliate and I'll be sat in jail for the next 10 years. Who's going to be laughing? You are. Do you know what I mean? And that's what haters want you to see. That's what people of the community who look down on me want to see. They want to see me as a criminal. They want to see this. So basically, I've learned anger only punishes yourself. I think I read a quote on it. Anger is a punishment we give ourselves for other people's actions.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
That's basically how I feel, like, with it. So I'm not going to let myself be like that anymore. And no matter what goes wrong for me, I just keep it moving, because, like, I know one day things are going to come better, because if you're a pure person, eventually that has to bring you something.
Yeah, God will provide. Yeah, definitely. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 25.
25, yeah. I was going to say, you are incredibly wise, man. You've got, like, a lot of wisdom that you speak.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Where does the name Risky come from? And, like, what does it mean to you?
Well, it's a funny story, actually. Basically, there was a lad called Jordan. There was a lad called Jordan Robinson, and he used to rap, and his name was J Dot. And when I was a kid, my name...
I think I've heard of J Dot, you know.
When I was a kid, my name was J Dot. So we've gone to a Hill Street session once and recorded a song, like, ages ago, and it was me, him, and my brother, and I think Joe Shalcross and a few others. We recorded a song, and on the list of features it said J Dot and J Dot, and I was like, oh no, that can't happen anymore. So basically, I was asking for help with names, and then my friend, the one who was in the studio, gave me the name. He's like, oh, why don't you just call yourself Risky? And basically I kept that, and then he's the one who passed away. So ever since then, I just thought, do you know what, I'm going to keep that and run with that.
As like a remembrance of him as well.
Yeah, like, because I remember, like, at the time, like, that was when he just started helping me to write more meaningful things. Because the thing is, I've always wrote my own lyrics, but when I was like 12, 13, he helped me with some of them. So basically, like, I always give credit where credit's due to people. Yeah, so when I was 12, 13, when I was building myself, that was partly down to him. And it was down to Matthew Baker as well for advising me and doing the sound engineering, allowing us to use his free beats. Like, those two were proper good people to me, man. And like, obviously, this is the thing with the world. Like, people need more credit into others rather than trying to be the main man. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, because
trying to take the spotlight.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we all have had help, and I think it's important with a negative world that we do shine light on the positive things that do come our way. And that's basically how I feel with it.
Have you ever been close to losing your own life?
Like, yeah, plenty of times. I can't lie. Like, I got a brain injury because of when I was. Wait, how old was I? I was 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old. I got a brain injury. I fell off my primary school roof trying to get a football. Honestly.
Young and dumb, eh? You know?
Yeah, literally. I think, do you know what it was? It was the morning, our ball went on the roof. I was like to the caretaker, we need our football for lunch. He's like, come back at the end of the day. I was like, that's not lunch, is it? So I've ended up going up to get it. I was with a friend, Callum Nicholson, at the time, and it was there like CCTV or something. Yeah, I've turned around, I've slipped and I fell, smashed my head, and I got back up. If I went unconscious, I would have died actually, but I had a bleed on the brain, I had a blood clot in the brain, and I had a fractured skull, and I ended up with 50 stitches, like from here to here, and then a brain injury in the frontal lobes, which is basically where your emotions and personality and things like that come from. So yeah, like, it led to a few troubles, but
that's crazy.
I like to think of myself as fully able, though. I don't class me as like just what they say, brain damage. I do have a brain injury, but like, I'm very intelligent, so I don't like to think of myself as less than others. Yeah. Like, 100%.
You still keep that like self-image of yourself alive.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think a lot of people with things like this try to use it as excuses. Like, the thing is, I understand it has impacted my behaviour at times. Yeah, like, I understand how and that, like, the medical side of it, but at the same time, we have a choice. Like, I don't use it as an excuse. I don't like to say, like, say if I have a meltdown one day and just like kick off going mad, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm brain damaged. That don't solve nothing. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make me grow as a person. That doesn't like help the person who's like feeling bad from it. Yeah. So like, I believe, I'm in full capacity of my actions, so I don't like to use it as an excuse.
I like that. So you're not letting it define you, obviously.
Nah, not at all. Again, with autism as well, I have autism, but like, thing is with labels, like, they're thrown out on that, but like, they literally don't define you as a person. Like, obviously physical illnesses, I couldn't agree more. Like, I've suffered bad with physical illness, but like, mental ones, it's all circumstantial, unless you've specifically got something like, say, a physical impairment, like missing a chromosome or something, like, then the mental side of it is circumstantial. Because say if you're highly depressed now, and then you find the woman of your dreams, and then you get gifted the house of your dreams, and then you get given £1 million and like a holiday booked for you, you're still going to be depressed. No. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I fully agree with that. I think depression is this is just my experience. I think it is massively situational. I think, you know, you're in a job you hate, like you're around a bunch of losers who don't really respect you. You know, you're doing the same thing every day, something you don't like. Of course, you're gonna feel depressed.
That's what I mean. It's about evading circumstances.
Exactly. And if anything, I think the depression, the feeling of depression, I feel like it's your body telling you, like, you do not like this situation. Do something to change it. Do you know?
100%. Well, there's a lot of people do let it define them, but yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I think it's well, a lot of people they feel a comfort in being a victim. I know that might sound harsh and a bit brash, but
no, I do understand that.
They find, you know, like just being a victim and like just like wallowing it and like, oh yeah,
because there's a difference between like being depressed because of like how your situations are and things, and then being depressed because of like, say for example, like things in life that is just life, like grieving. We're gonna lose people, they're gonna die,
exactly.
So there's nothing wrong with you that you're depressed when someone's died. Like, that's the kind of depression where there's nothing wrong with
understandable.
you. It's understanding how to manage the process of grieving and things like that. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'd say that's like impacted because of what's happened. Like, then you get, oh, can you turn it off, please? Should we do that question again, just in case?
Yeah.
Back to the Motorola's on that. Yeah, sorry, can we start again?
Yeah. So you were talking about obviously the you know, like when someone passes away, you know, that's understandable. Like when you're in that grieving period, you know, it's a right to feel depressed then, because that is, you know, that's a loss of life. That's someone you loved and they're gone forever from this earth.
But so things like that, I understand these kind of depressions, or like, say, if you're in a domestic relationship or things like this, anything like that, I understand. But like things like being depressed because of your job, you don't have to work that job.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be more than what the government are telling you have to do. You have to do this job, you have to do that, you have to. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's the same with like body shape as well. Like people say, oh, I'm skinny, or oh, I'm fat, or oh, I don't look like this. You can do something to change that. Do you know what I mean? You just need to have the fire under you to go and do that.
So basically that's what I think. Like, if you're suffering by actions against you, then I believe that's a fair depression, where it makes sense that you need support on that. But like, if you're depressed about other things like that, just you can go out and do it. And that's what I realised, because when I was a kid, even I've been like that at times. I've been like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like living, I don't like this, and I've let myself get down. And to be honest, now I've got older, I realise I could have just done something about it.
Exactly.
So I'm not someone who's like passing judgment on people as someone who's never experienced it. So like, I don't look down on people. I hope everyone overcomes their struggle, but basically, if it's something in your control, just do your best to try and like change your situation, because it's all in your hands.
I think that's the key right there, changing your situation. So obviously, you know, you've learned from first-hand experience that homelessness is a massive problem, bro. Like, all you need to do is like leave your house, walk down the road, and you can spot a homeless person.
Find them quick.
What do you think should be done to improve the homelessness situation?
Well, I think it's all about the root of the homelessness. There's a lot of different situations I've experienced. Me, I was homeless because of breakdown in relationship, which I won't go into. But I was homeless for that reason. So I've learned that you can be like that, and you can just think, right, I need to get support. So you can get support from places like Hope For You, which give you basically a shower, as I said earlier, a meal, etc. While you're going to a council to get support worker, a GP, you can get support letters, and basically it will help you with your banding. Say, for example, if you do have clinical depression and things, if you go there, you get a medical record, hand it in, they'll bring you as a priority. So say, for example, you go into temporary accommodation for 2 weeks until they find you a flat. And then there's homelessness for people which have like fell victim to being a heroin addict, crack addict, and things like that. And with their situation, you need to get them into rehab before housing them, otherwise they'll be in the same cycle.
And they'll fall back down the hole again.
Yeah, they'll fall back down. You'll see them homeless again in a few months. So basically what I'm saying is, I think it's very individual to the people, and they should assess the root of the problem before housing them, otherwise it's just going to be a vicious cycle. Because with me, I kept being housed in shared houses, and say, for example, I didn't respond in a positive way, I'll admit that. I was housed, for example, perfect. I was 18, I was housed with 3 heroin addicts, all 30 and above. Obviously, I'm not a user of heroin, never have been, I don't support it in any way. And they're trying to smoke in the communal lounge. And this is the part where I say, like, I should have acted better, but obviously when you're 18, you know, it's like, I've kicked off with them, basically. Started a problem sort of, but it's not actually got to violence. It's just shouting at each other and said, sort yourself out, like, stop fucking smoking in the yard. Like, it's there, like, I don't want to be around heroin and that. I'm a young lad, like, I'm trying to do something with my life. And basically, I've reported it to the council. The council did nothing about it. The second time, the council did nothing about it again. Then they started stealing change out my room. And then at this point, I've lost it and smashed up everyone's room in it, basically, kicked off with everyone, which I'm not proud of. Obviously, I know it's the wrong way to respond. As I was saying earlier about where you can control how you respond to things out of your control.
But you were young, and you need these, like, you go through these, you know, lessons to learn what to not do in the next time that comes around.
So that resulted in eviction. So basically, looking back, what I could have done to not be in the cycle of homelessness again is, you need to actually have a support worker with you. If you can have a support worker with you to assess your needs and assess if your place is suitable, it always helps to have a professional to speak on your behalf, because then they feel more obligated to do their job correctly. So like, say if I had a support worker and I wasn't just thinking, oh yeah, I know everything, I can do everything myself, someone would have came in, assessed that, and straight away you would have known you don't house an 18-year-old with 30-year-old heroin addicts and so on. So basically, I believe, like, you need, if you're an alcoholic or if you're on drugs, seek rehab and then get housed. If you're on if you're on just violence and things and you struggle, try avoid a shared house. Just explain to your support worker, they'll be able to assess your needs, and then they can put you as a high risk. So there's ways around it. Just basically assess your situation and put in all the work you can to make sure you're going into a household that is going to work. Otherwise, there's no point in starting. You've got to start as you mean to go on. Yeah, 100%.
I like that. Okay, we'll transition to a more happier place.
Yeah.
Something I'd like to know, obviously, you've got some sick collaborations. You know, you got Socks and Tansky from Birmingham. How did that collaboration come about, and like where did you learn to like work with each other and that sort of thing?
Well, which one would you like me to start with?
Oh, got the option. Let's start with Tansky.
Tansky. Okay, so Tansky, I grew up listening to him. I really rated his music. Not just the one that he did, which everyone knows about, the viral one on JDZ. Yeah, not just that one. Like in general, I really rate him as a rapper. He is very talented. And when I was a kid, when I used to watch these people, I'd be like, oh, when I'm older, I'm gonna do music with them. Like at the time, it seems unreal, but I was like, I'm gonna do that with them. So basically, I've just reached out to them, like not just them. I've reached out to probably these times like 100 different rappers. I've reached out DMing them, just asking for collabs. Some of them have got back, so I've made arrangements. Like say for example, I paid for the video and I've paid for the studio time as well.
Oh, so you paid for their studio time as well?
Yeah. So we've got the track together, got it done, and then we've shot the video. And to be honest, I'm really proud of them collabs. Like shout out to Tansky. His Insta's. Wait, you'll be able to attach it in the video.
We could attach it.
Yeah. He's a really talented rapper, and it was a privilege to work with him.
Yeah, no,
100%.
Definitely tell. And then how about Socks? How did you get him with Socks?
It's the same method again, and again, Socks is one of the best grime rappers I've heard.
He's a legend.
I really rate Socks as well, so I was proud to do that. It's my sister's favourite rapper as well, and I got to bring my sister to meet him at the video shoot. So she was really happy with that. Because she's been listening to him like 10 years, so like that was nice to do for like my family members as well as working with someone that I highly rate.
And has that led to more opportunities for you doing like these songs with these like
100%? Like I try to see the positive and the negative. I like to analyze everything. In a sense, it's positive because other people seeing that I've worked with these now will be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll work with you. But the thing is, the negative side of it is you'll never know if they're showing you love because of the reputation of these, or if they actually like your music.
I see.
Do you get where I'm coming from?
I see. So you think people might be using you as an avenue to get to like
not necessarily that they're using me, like, because to be fair, like I'm a humble guy. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just give the best I can give. So you could be like on 10 views, you could be 10 million. If you want to collab and I like you as a person, then it's on 100%. So I wouldn't say using me in the sense of that, but I just never know if people rate me because of seeing things like that makes it cool to rate me, or if they're actually taking the content, and think, oh yeah, this is meaningful, I like this, the flow is good, the delivery's on point. So you get where I'm coming from?
I do. I feel like it's like almost like sheep mentality. If I can find the best way to explain it, it's like they've seen you obviously with these kind of decently big rappers in the area, and they think, automatically think like, you must be on something as well, so let me just kind of attach myself to you. Is that what you kind of mean in that sense?
100%. Because for example, like say I post a song which I'm really happy with, and say for example, this isn't exact figures, but I don't know, 20 likes, 3 comments. I post a song with Socks, like 600 shares, everyone saying, oh, this is my bro from day one, love bro, this and that, I can't believe it. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I see what you mean.
It's like we're in a world where people only want to support if it's cool to be supported.
If they have the clout behind it.
And I'm not image based. I don't have an image. Like you see me, I would never have rental cars in my videos. I'll never have like say chains and stuff, like just for the sake of having them. Like I want people to take in the content. Like I do my music as me, so I ain't trying to adhere to any image that basically they expect from me. Like people in music videos generally, they want to see a quick Lamborghini pull up, spin round and out, motorbikes. They want to hear all this talk about guns and violence, and the thing is, like, I would never want to be known as something that ain't me. So even though it's going to take me longer, and it might take me a lot longer to get there, when I do get there, I'll be getting there as Jordan as well as Risky. So like other people, it's just a stage name, and it's basically a different persona. I want to get there as Jordan and Risky. So like I try merge it together. Like that's why a lot of my lyrics are about my life, and not just my life, like say for example things I've seen go on as well. Because like it's just basically, see it this way, you know, when I was struggling with mental health and that, they always used to say like it will really help you if you could keep a diary. Now, I'm not someone who could do that. Like, I'm not looking, I don't know, I don't look down on people for doing it, but to me, like, I just see that as, that's not useful. Like, so my interpretation of a diary is writing my lyrics about my life experiences. I see the things going on and then putting it into music. That's why my music videos are shot in only in areas that I've been chilling at or I'm living in, because
It's real.
It's almost like, it's almost like a memory book, effectively. Like, once my YouTube channel, say 60 videos down the line, that will all be like, every single song I think, yeah, I was going through this that time. Oh, that was in this place. I was living there. Do you get where I'm coming from?
It's like a reflection of your past.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I want my music to be a journey where it's for me to look back on, but also everyone else can
enjoy
see
it
the
as well.
growth as well. See where I've come from, because I'm not a perfect person. I never will be perfect, but I can try my best to do what I can
To be close
and
enough,
to try
yeah.
influence people in a positive way. Basically, my main thing, that where I say influence, I want everyone my age to see that we don't have to act bad to be able to do music, or we don't have to act bad to be liked and things like this. There's a lot more joy to the world doing things like, say for example, charity events, or say you see an old lady struggling with the shopping, go and give her a hand, take it in. Things like this. Like, if there was a lot more love in the world, we wouldn't feel such a need to be competitive. Basically,
Exactly. Yeah, it's that kind of ego. Everyone's on an ego trip, man. Everyone's got something to prove. It's just like bravado when they're out on the streets, and they feel the need to hold up this kind of like this negative image that I'm a G, I'm a gang member, I'm a gangster, blah blah blah.
And
blah.
it's no life, literally. Like, the thing is, the way I see it is, one day we're all going to be old and vulnerable. We come to this world with, like, I was speaking to someone the other day actually, and we were talking about this. We come to the world with nothing, we leave the world with nothing. So anything in between is a bonus. There's no point trying to fight it out and to think like you're better than someone, because at the end of the day, you came as nothing, you'll leave as nothing.
Yeah, facts. That's really true.
So literally, just enjoy life. It's too short to not enjoy.
It's very facts.
And that's basically why, like, with my music, it's trying to be so influential to people, because like a lot of people love Pac-Man TV. I'm the only rapper I know who's gone on Pac-Man with a positive message. I don't think I've ever heard anyone rap like that on there. And that's like a channel that a lot of people love. And say for example, I've done a track with Tansky, I've done a track with Socks, I've done a track with Devlin, and I'm not there talking like, putting it like, I'm not rapping about any sort of violence, anything like that. And I think me achieving these opportunities will make others see like, oh, okay, maybe we can be ourselves. Maybe we can be ourselves, not trying to follow everything else.
Yeah. Let's get into that actually. Your track with Devlin. So how did that come to be?
To be fair, I was very surprised. There's another rapper that I just dropped a DM. Like, I think I might have sent a reel or something and said to him, like, at the time I think I said, how much will you charge to be in a video or something like that. And then he didn't want to do a video, which I can understand. To be fair, it's a privilege to even do a track with him. And yeah, I'm just grateful for that. But he said he will do a song with me. He's done a song with me, and basically the surprise is, like, I mix and mastered it. I'm not a sound engineer, but yeah, I mixed and mastered it myself, and I was really proud of that, because I've been in a lot of situations, like, there's a few sound engineers which I like that are good, but most of my life I've been around sound engineers that either can't find my sound or they're not very good at communicating. So basically it's hard to work with them, and it's always got me frustrated, because I've always felt like I could get more out of what I'm doing. And I've took the time to teach myself, and to be honest, I'm really proud of how far I've come. I'm not the best, but I defo can do releasable quality, which is something that I really pride myself on, because it's not even my primary like interest in music. And I think that's why it's important to learn every aspect of it, because you can only rely on yourself. You can only work as hard as the assets you have. Like, say for example, if I can write 60 tracks a day and you can only mix and master one a day, I can only put out one track a day. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you can take on as many assets as you can and like learn it properly, you're in control of your music. Literally.
But do you also feel like, well, do you not fear that you might spread yourself a little bit too thin if you're taking on a lot of assets and trying to do everything yourself? Do you not think you might be spreading yourself a little bit thin, as opposed to sometimes it may be best to find and meet a team of people who are very good at this one thing, and then you're very good at this one thing, and you come together and you collaborate like on a more permanent basis?
Truthfully, I didn't think about that, to be fair. I think you have a very valid point, and yeah, like, I'll take that into consideration. I've just never really thought about finding teams and stuff, because of like, I struggle with working with some people, and like, it's not because of I've got anything personal against them, but like,
how they work.
It's methods people work, and also my work rate basically. As I said, I use music as an outlet, so I might not record like say 60 songs, but you see, in a month I write at least 60 songs probably. Like I write every single day without fail. So like if I'm trying to work that fast and I'm working with someone who can't work that fast, it's not that they've done anything wrong, but I struggle to like slow down to fit with other people.
But no, you need someone to be at your pace. Do you know what I mean?
If I could find the right people, then yeah, that would be perfect.
Well, those people are out there. I believe that, hand on God, I believe there are people out there who can fit into your groove. I'm a big believer on having the right team, because like when you get started, don't get me wrong, it's good to have a bit of this, wear all the hats, but if you really want to start scaling, you want to delegate that job to someone else so you can put all your focus on to really honing your craft, and so then they can take care of that side of it. But obviously that's important. You need to identify who your team are and understand how they work, and if it complements how you work, and then you come together and you build the beautiful masterpiece.
It's like like what you're saying, basically a jack of all trades is a master of none. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. But you just need to find the correct master of that specific skill, and then you come together with him, and you create the art.
No, do you know what? I'm going to take that into consideration. This is why I like doing things like this, because to be fair, like as I said, like I don't know everything, so like I can always learn something from someone. And to be fair, I'm going to take that into consideration.
Cool, thank you. How come you took a little break from social media?
Truthfully, like it's because it becomes draining on you. Like there's several reasons. There's 7 reasons for personal life, and then for music as well. And basically, like, which one would you like to get into first, the music side of it or the personal?
Let's start with music and then go into personal.
Okay, so with music, I find it hard with social media to be able to maintain a positive mindset towards the music, because for example, like you'll put an Insta preview of a video, it will get like 5,000 views, you get like 50 or 100 likes, you get all of these interactions and comments, but when it comes to it dropping, no one's showing any support. So it gives you a false sense of achievement, which then kind of belittles the actual achievement you make from the song, if that makes sense. So like it's making you think, oh yeah, this is gonna pop, and then when it actually happens, like it drops and it doesn't, then you've sold yourself short of your expectations. So yeah, you say like, oh, is that it, sort of thing, and it kind of takes away the joy of it, because to be honest, like I'm lucky if anyone will listen to my music. I don't think I'm the best artist, and like when someone does, I genuinely value their support. And yeah, like it's like as well with it, people, because of social media is very image based, you see people putting their videos and stuff, they've all got the fake cars, they've all got women in the background twerking, they've all got their chains and that. Because of that, that's what's cool. Like anyone sees anything different, then it's like, oh, it's not with the trend.
It's unfortunately, it's that sheep mentality. It's like that, like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then everyone does think as a herd, because most people are just like normies. They don't do anything to stand out. So obviously, like people like me, we're trying to stand out, and if you don't quite fit into that image, you will just kind of get pushed aside unless you really start putting yourself in that spotlight in your own kind of lane.
100%.
And I think it what you just kind of said there kind of goes back into our previous point. Is like, maybe if you met like a incredible social media marketer who could help you with your page and help you like market your videos and all that, so maybe like that interaction will start to slowly come as well,
because they'd have the right target audience. They'd understand how to
and they'll understand like all the algorithms and how, when to post, what to post, and they can help you do that. And
I've understood a little bit, but like there's always a lot you can learn. I've understood how helpful hashtags are. I didn't realize at first. I thought, how's a hashtag possibly going to help things? But literally, like I've gone from, say for example, getting 150 views on a video, I put some hashtags and then that's it. Like I've got like 2,000-3,000, and it literally comes from like specific hashtags. Like for example, on TikTok you put hashtag FYP, or Insta hashtag explore and things like this, and it just goes out to random people who search that kind of thing.
Just random scrolling.
I could learn a lot more though. I can't lie, I don't really have knowledge of marketing. That's what I seriously lack, which I should really research, or as you said, I should find someone who can do that for me.
And just really put together that team. Even you start like a little group chat, you've got a producer, an engineer, and a social media manager. You really, well, obviously you need to put the work and then identify who is the correct person, to bring into my brand, because at the end it is the Risky brand, and you're the boss. And like it's seeing music, obviously you can have a love for music, have a passion, but like if you really want to like go far, you got to see it as a business as well. Your music is a product, it is a service, and your fans are your customers.
100%.
You know what I mean? And you need every humongous corporation you see down there. It's not just one guy doing all the jobs. He gets employees. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's that mentality, that mindset you got to kind of start like thinking about, like, if I really want to start scaling and growing, I know I can learn bits and bobs about this, so I can identify when someone is good, so I can hire because they can do it better than me, and then I can trust them to do that job for me. It's what my brother says quite a lot actually, and it's very.
I find that
very
amazing
true.
that you two work together. Like literally, like if my brother shared like the interest in music with me, that would be amazing. Like. It must be a great job to do together.
It is like, because it's like it's 2 5 minds think so much better than just one. And people have different ideas, different like angles in how they want to do things, and sometimes you need to have a deferring opinion on.
And as well, you can always count on like the fact it's a family member. You can always count on them to have your best interests. So that must be good. Like knowing that when you're doing this together, like there's no like distrust there.
Yeah, no, of course.
Make it so much easier.
Yeah.
That's why definitely. I'd love it as well. Like. Fair play to you both.
Thank you. So what about the personal reasons for like stopping or taking a break and social media?
Okay, so like basically like the thing is, a lot of the time with music, like people only support if there's a personal relationship as well, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people say from my hometown, if they're DMing me and I'm ignoring their DM, they're not going to support the music. Just because like they want to be able to text as well and stuff, and I find social media draining. I don't want to communicate with everyone on a personal level because I've lived a stressful life, and it's nothing against them. I just want to like crack on with what I'm doing, like achieve the most I can, and then divide my short time in this world amongst like the people I care about the most and that. And I think people take it personally. So people like will be like, oh, why have you aired me for like weeks? Why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? And it's quite stressful. And it's not just that as well. Like aside from personal to me, like I see social media as a bullying platform as well. I actually do. Like especially towards like women. I know I've got friends that are women, and like literally you'll see groups of girls ganging up like on photos, like things sharks, like this. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I feel like everyone's using it for the wrong purposes. I believe you should only own a social media account if you're trying to further a business or something, because if you're really social, you'll book people in person, you'll give them a call. If you're that close with them, you'll have their number, you can give them a call, you can go see them in person. So like I find social media frustrating because I see lots of mad things on there, and also like
it's just very negative. It's extremely negative. Like if you do follow any pages like I'm Just Bait or
that's what I mean. I see
like,
things
in the
like
comments.
that. It makes no sense. Like say for example that Mizzy guy.
I heard it. Yeah, what do you think about that? Yeah.
To be honest, I think it's really stupid because like he's been fined 200 he's been fined I think it's £250 or something. Yeah. So with this situation, all they've done is fine him 250 and give him all the fame he wants as a reward without knowing it. Now in the long run, he's going to be famous for life, and he's going to be able to make that 250 plus another million back in the long run, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Because he's going to be an internet sensation. So instead of just like giving him the punishment, cutting him off, banning him from socials, they've gave him a platform on everywhere. Yeah. And that's the sort of thing that I don't like. I see, or for example, someone followed me, like it was an artist. I'm not going to say who it was. But then they're sending like a DM to everyone, and it was like, oh, caught my man lacking this and that, check this bio and that.
About you?
No, not about me, no.
Oh, right.
He's on about someone else, but like I've received a DM, so I don't condone bullying, so it's basically him and 8 of his friends starting on one guy, and the guy getting scared and that, and he's like, oh, drop 1,000 comments, I'll release the next part, it was a proper bio, this and that, and things like that. I see things like that on social media and I just think, what the hell's this world? So if you get what I'm saying, like that's draining. I don't want to see all that shit. Like my life's been a madness. I don't need to see everyone else doing all these things. Like, and like that's pretty much why. So I've deactivated my Facebook, and I'm going to be deactivating my Insta soon as well once I've dropped this next video, just so I can take a break. Like I was initially going to quit music, but I've decided against that. I'm just going to take a break, focus on my health.
Tell me about FND.
Okay, so it's functional neurological disorder, and basically the way I was describing it, the analogy is if it was a computer, see the brain as a hardware, it's not damaged in the brain, there's not a problem like that, but see the neurons as a software. Say if you have a virus software, even though the hardware is fine, the computer's not going to work properly. It will send incorrect information, it will damage things, and basically the neurons is what sends the signals around your body telling it what to do. So say for example, so my neurons are incorrect, so it can cause, like, say for example, say your body, so you get food, and that's broken down by acid and mucus and whatnot. So basically my body will send neurons always telling me, like, as if I'm eating when I'm not. So I've got real high excess acid reflux, which really impacts my voice box at times. So when I'm booking a studio session, I turn up sounding like I've got flu or something, I can't record, which can be really stressful if you put a deposit and stuff. But alongside with that, I've got fibromyalgia, and basically it affects your joints and your muscles 24/7. It feels like you're in so much pain. Like, say for example, you get a blue bruise, you're pressing that in. It's like that sort of achy pain. It's not stinging, but it's everywhere. Like, and I don't know if you can see properly, but my joints have been eaten away out. Like, they're pretty fucked, on it, like, for my age. Like, so, basically, that's not all they do. Like, they cause other problems. Like, I get a lot of sleep paralysis and hallucination dreams. Hallucination dreams as well, which is like, a symptom of it. And basically, there's just a lot wrong. Like, there's a lot more than that, but like, they're the ones that impact my music, because obviously, like, lack of sleep and things like that can cause your brain to not work as well.
So you don't concentrate as much.
As well, the maddest thing about it is, like, with the hallucination dreams, they're really strange. Like, say for example, in the dream, I'm waking up here, at this chair, I'm looking over there, and then something happens, something mad, like, say for example, I don't know, someone stabs me or something, I then wake up and I think, oh, what the hell, like, you're in the same place as where you were in the dream, so at times it can proper mess with your head, and basically, it can cause mental health.
So where did these conditions come from? Was it from birth, or was it like the injury?
Do you know what? Looking back on my life, I'd say that FND's been caused by my brain injury, truthfully, because FND can be a response to trauma, extreme stress and anxiety at a constant rate. And basically, I've been through everything that can cause it. So I'm assuming it's come, though, from the brain injury, because I've never noticed problems before. And the fibromyalgia, now I look back, I think I've had it my whole life, truthfully.
Just been born with it.
Because there's symptoms that I didn't realise were symptoms at the time. I know it sounds silly, but like, when I was a kid, little things like, say, my joints kept hurting, and I'm just thinking, that's just my body's way of saying you've ran too much today and things. But I think looking back, they've always had problems, and I think it might be to do with the illness. But basically, because of my health issues, trying to get that under control, I want to focus on that and then come back healthier, because I've booked a total of I think it's 11 or 12 professional studio sessions, and on the day I've been so ill I could barely move, and I've had really bad voice box problems because of like the really high acid reflux for no reason. And basically I've turned up, I've recorded the best I could, but I've not been able to release it. And when I've put a deposit all 12 times and then paid the full amount, like, as you can imagine, it disheartens you. It makes you think, is my health going to stop me doing music?
Well, I want to say, can you not, is there no medication you can take to at least like alleviate the symptoms a little bit, and bring the acid reflux
down?
That's
a problem. Like with the acid reflux, that symptom, you can do it, but the problem is they can cause damage over time. They can be bad for your body.
But the actual medication.
Yeah. And the ones that are really bad is like, say for the fibromyalgia and the FND symptoms of like the joints, the insomnia and things like that.
Yeah.
They only can offer, because it's incurable problems these are, so they only can offer nerve blockers and heavy antidepressants, which is something I don't want to get roped into, because one, they're addictive, two, they're not going to help you really. Like,
they just put a blaster of a bleeding wound.
Like, say for example, they'll say, take tramadol, amitriptyline and pregabalins. I don't want to be hooked on that. Like, it's the only method they have of treatment, because there's no cure. So basically, after being ill for quite a while, I really want to just like work on my health, because like you can't go into a studio session not happy, or go to a stage show not happy, because it will reflect to the fans, even if they don't know you, they don't know the backstory. All they're going to see is someone who's clearly stressed, turning up like you don't want to be there. And to be honest, would you want to see an artist turn up looking like he's ready to leave? Do you know what I mean? Like, especially if you paid for a ticket, for example. So basically, I'm understanding of how I can come across. I come across as stressed and like I don't really care about what I'm doing, and I don't like that in myself. So I'm going to work on my health, and then I'm going to come back.
At least you're kind of, you're being methodical. You're thinking like the best. You're like, as you said earlier, making the best out of a bad situation. Maybe what you could do is, like, again, kind of going back to this like kind of whole team idea, once you have a bit more resources behind you, if you create like a studio, I know you obviously said yourself, you want to create your own studio, and you have your own producer there and your own mixer there, and you can just record releasable tracks in your own comfort. And maybe you wouldn't have this kind of this anxiety, like, oh, I've already paid the money, is my voice going to be okay? Is my voice going to be okay? And then that thought, kind of, you put that out into the universe, and then obviously you go there the day, and then your voice fucks up, and then it's that frustration, like, fuck, now I can't release this. I've spent all this money. Like, if you cultivate that home studio at home, and you're in a comfortable setting, maybe that might help alleviate that problem a little bit. I don't know, that's just an idea.
100%. Like, the thing is, like, the problem I've got with that is the funding of it. Like, so at the moment, that is what I've been trying to do, but I've been recording off a Rode NT1A and then a really cheap M audio interface. My studio in total is £180, I think it is. So it cost me £180. So it is good for a start, and I've taught myself well how to mix and master and stuff. But now it's a case of being able to afford a proper booth, afford things like, say for example, an Apollo interface would really be handy for like mix and mastering, because Universal Audio comes with preamps properly, and you can basically the sound goes into the microphone live. You can set it with compression already on it and EQs and things, which takes the load off of the mix and mastering, because basically the less you have to run in the program, the better the sound will be processed. So like, I need to upgrade to things like that. But do you know how much an interface like that is these days?
Yeah, like $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
Well, you just got to find a way to fund it. Like, if you're working a job, you just got to save money aside each month.
To be fair, like, as far as work goes, like, I haven't really been working as such. I've been volunteering. Like, I was doing voluntary youth work for a couple of years, and like, I've studied. I've passed 2 A levels. I've passed 6 level 2 courses in that time, and I've done a lot like that. But in terms of money, it hasn't made me any money, but I'm happy with that, to be fair, because I didn't do the youth work for money. I think that's the problem with youth work these days. A lot of people just want to do it for the payroll, but you should be there to make change. So me, I did it voluntary because I did it like clean-hearted. I didn't want nothing out of it. So although I've gave my time and I've come out with no money, like, do you know what? I've made a change in the world, which will defo like impact better than a bit of money could, because money don't make me happy. Whereas like, when I walk away from a situation thinking, do you know what, I've helped that person, that will always make me happy. So there's no money I'd trade for that.
Okay, so to wrap up then, I want to know, like, what are your kind of goals and aspirations for, obviously not maybe just your music career, but like, just personal life as well in the next kind of like year, next 2 years, 3 years? Okay. Where is Risky going to
Can we extend that to 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
Where's it going to be?
Within 5 years, I want to see myself in a countryside with my missus, having a first kid, and like just completely settled, having made it in music, so that I'm able to come and go from work, so I can give my full attention to my family and not be have to trapped in like, say, 40 hours a week. Like, I want to be able to divert my full attention to them and then carry on with my music, because it's something I'm proud of. Basically with the music, where I want to be is like doing loads of shows, like, say for example in my home areas, which I won't be charging lots for. I'll be using that as a way to bring through other people from the home area that don't have the opportunities, more of like a communal event, like, oh, you lot come down, showcase your talent. And then I want to be able to get to the ones I grew up on, like things like Eskimo dance, wireless, like things like that. I want to be working with people like Chipmunk as well. Like, if Chipmunk ever sees this, which I hope he does, I want to track with Chipmunk 100%. Like, as well.
That would be sick. Yeah.
He commented on my thing on TikTok.
I saw. I saw.
But unfortunately, he didn't choose me. But still, like, shouts out to him for giving everyone that opportunity. Yeah. That was a big thing to do with the techie challenge.
I rate that you're still humble with it, and I think with this mindset you have, like, always wanting to improve every day. You're a respectful person. You treat people like how you want to be treated, and like, obviously, even you doing this youth work, I think God can only give you blessings, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's only blessings your way, and you just got to keep going every day, piece by piece. But other than that, guys, this has been Jay Pans, joined with Risky today.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right, man.
Shout out Matchbox Media.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. We are out.
I'm stuck on time. 715 to make it rhyme. These the words and the lyrics on the top of my mind. I'm coming high and mighty with a flavor so spicy. With a flavor so spicy. I'm making my dough, I'm making my pee. Now we're aiming for the top, now the top you see.